And now we're finally ready for the dark era, as now we're going to get to some more good seasons of Survivor. But this is one I was definitely curious of how it was going to hold on when we watched, and that is Blood vs. Water, season 27. First off, the concept of Blood vs. Water is a pretty interesting concept, basically having former returning players competing against their loved ones. I mean, that's an incredible concept for a season, honestly. Oh, well, yes, the choices are kind of random here. A few of the choices are definitely very random choices, which I think it kind of proves that the concept's not very repeatable, which is why I only done it once, and there was actually not a newbie season, so it was still an interesting cast. Like, you basically got Rupert competing against his wife this time around, which was his last one, but we'll get into that. You got Candace from Cook Islands Cooper's Vales competing again. She actually was an alternate this time. I think RC and her dad were going to be on this season, but her dad ended up getting high blood pressure, which is well led to them not competing. And Candace was an alternate along with her husband John. You got Jervis from freaking season 1 competing against his niece Marissa. You got fucking Colin Cumbie from One World, who, I get Colin has to return this season, seriously, and well, I definitely have my stuff to say about him this season. Basically competing against his fiancée Kayla, may rest in peace. You got Monica Culpepper, who competed in One World, who was pretty much boots. Competing with her husband Brad Culpepper, who was, I believe, a former football player, if I remember correctly. Yeah, former football player. You got Kat from Silent One World, who got the Buddha Blindside in that season. And she basically was competing against her boyfriend at the time, Hayden Moss, who actually won Big Brother, actually. You got the winner of Sorry Panama Arts competing against his brother Vetus. You got Tina Weston from the one that was showing out back in the first Brother All Stars competing against her. Sorry for the cough. Competing against her daughter Katie. You got Laura Morantz, the 10th place finisher in Samoa, competing against her daughter Sierra. And you got Tyson Aponso, who was kind of a young was basically talking cheese to make that infamously dumb move here for the villains. This time competing against her girlfriend at the time, Rachel, who I believe they're now married by America, who actually not married, they had a couple kids together. Now, it's not kind of random, it definitely was still an interesting one, and there's also season where they have basically Redemption Island really playing it to like this is the season. The best FNF is Redemption Island, the best aspect, and this season is like the best potential on Redemption Island. As I mentioned, I never really mind Redemption Island, honestly. It just was badly executed on season 22 and 23. But this season, I think that they really bring the potential here. For one thing, if a loved one to get voted out, you could have like a returning player basically take their place. And that really happened in the first episode. Basically, Candace ended up getting voted out her triumph because she was an alternate, you didn't know her very well. And then Rupert's beloved wife Laura ends up basically being voted out. And Rupert's like, "Yep, and Rupert and me was like, "I'm taking her place." It's like, no! And Rupert ended up being the first person eliminated on that island. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it does lead to some interesting drama and killing kids and very heartwarming and emotional moments. Because how much do you really love your loved one in Survivor? How much you love them so much that you're willing to take their place and have to be on your tribe? Well, that does only happen once. It's one thing that does make for some great compelling moments, especially during the pre-match, like along by Culpepper and his antics and everything. And overall, most of the plays are still great here, aside from one team player. The little ones are able to stand out as well again. Marissa definitely has some good moments by her short time on the show. Again, Rachel has some moments. John Curry definitely had a fun downfall. Brad Cooper especially had a fun blindside downfall. With Kayla basically just turning on him. Laura, not the best gameplay in the world. I don't think Laura's on the card for Survivor, to be honest, but she definitely was a great presence to watch. It's great to actually see Laura play Survivor. I've seen her a few times on Survivor, as of course Rupert's wife. All his brother's vehicles, angry. His brother Vetus was a great presence throughout the pre-merge. He definitely had a lot of good back and forth, especially with his brother Aris. And also had a nice backstory as well. There. Really, is very high. I know, and I remember being like super high on him to return for a second chance, which didn't end up, that did happen, but it didn't end up being as good as expected. But we'll get into time I Cambodia. Maybe Beers was overall great presence here. Again, Kid but also has good moments. Katie was great as well. And Sierra obviously popping the standout this season. Well, I don't think she was stand out much in the pre-merge. I think the more she goes on, she's been on the show, the more she does stand as a character, the more she stands out as a great presence and foil throughout the season. And of course, there's the whole thing with she brought her mom, which I will talk about. Then I got to returning players. Like, the only one I'm really not found out is Colton. I'm just saying it's got away. Colton's really the only like massive negative I can say about this season. Like I pretty much love and enjoy pretty much everything else about Buff is why I think this season definitely hold up well in the rewatch, but I enjoyed so much more. Even the Redemption Island duels I enjoyed. But Colton, thankfully he's only in like a few episodes, but yeah, it proved that he wasn't definitely like a pick to play honestly. And because he was trying to actually change actually, but he only did it for like half a day and then went back to his old ways, trying to cause mayhem, trying to cause chaos when everyone was just when everyone was like kumbaya, getting along. And he got so upset about it, he ended up really crying in the arena, and then he ended up quitting. But I don't think we ever seen Jeff as angry as he was about someone quitting. And it was even hinted that he might have actually faked his appendicitis in World. He's been Clown's antics that aren't real true negative thing about this season. I pretty much love everything else about this season, honestly, and the train plays, has some fun moments. You can't have another fun downfall on Blindside, and RSC definitely, had, he really showed a lot more personality this time around, and had also a fun downfall that was kind of feeling shown since the very first episode. And Laura even had a fun moment that, of course, was here for her mom. We'll get into that. But she was actually good this time around. Also, I mentioned he and Miles from Big Brother was also a great dishing, and this was, I think, the first time we actually saw for Big Brother actually being on Survivor. Especially in former winner, honestly, and he definitely proved, he'd be a good fighter actually. I think he was on this on a non-bluff as well season. I think he seemed to do pretty well actually. Honestly, I'm still hoping they do get her return from Hayden at some point, whether to be on here or on Big Brother. Like, that's kind of shocking as a return at this point, honestly. And there's Tina, who also has great moments as well, some great character moments as well. And it was actually kind of surprising she had to actually return from Natural Island. Jervis, again, from season 1, he ended up returning, and he actually was a lot more fun and impressive. I actually remember him being, actually, and he's Jervis, I think, is one of those people that's always going to be a great character on any season he's a part of. And hell, I liked Monica this time around, honestly. I think I remember not liking Monica. I remember being, like, increasingly frustrated by her not. I remember being, like, so incredibly frustrated by her not deciding to burn out Jervis and Tyson at the time, honestly. But, I never bugged me much this time around, honestly. So not the greatest character in the world, but I definitely didn't mind her. It's interesting that she, of course, her husband ended up being a game changer, and he both ended up finishing in seconds, which is kind of hilarious. And then we have Tyson. I probably mentioned this in my Chuck E. Cheese here for his films, but I'm not being the biggest fan of Tyson. I'm not really liking him at all, honestly. But I feel like the more I watched him and the more I think about it, the more I think he started to grow on me. And obviously, with him actually, winning this season, he's like his best run on the show, where he actually does a lot of the mistakes he made in give his villains a second chance, where he still shows that a little bit of cockiness. He keeps it more reserved, but he still gets that some really great lines, like the whole cooking up in this moment with him and Jervis, and the lines with Jervis, which definitely makes them some really fun moments, and him obviously wanting to do this to not to redeem himself, but also for his girlfriend. It makes for it definitely makes for a win that. It's a little obvious, but definitely a win that's not very worthy and deserving, honestly. And again, the whole blood aspect makes for some really compelling moments. Again, we see the group just obviously switch with play for right away, and seeing other people's reactions to other ones and being so emotional about it. Like when Malcolm was a Brad, and he and Cat and Cabby this, like it. But it's some very emotional moments. Well, and also some fun, especially when we get some back for Brad Culpepper and Brandon and the other people, honestly, and even trying to avoid Rachel, so that Tyson could switch over, which is actually pretty well, it failed. It was actually pretty impressive to him actually trying to attempt that. And of course, there are the two moments that people remember mostly from this season. Of course, is the most memorable one is that in fact that Sierra, and this is kind of one that made Sierra instantly a household name on Survivor, and nobody was really done on Survivor up to this point. And the fact that Sierra actually, there's a point where basically Sierra ended up voting out her mom Laura. Like, I remember myself being like, holy shit, she voted out her mom. Yeah, that's really all that Sierra is really remembered for, honestly. And of course, what this time is a lot to remember her personality, having a character moment. Like, it's a pretty emotional and just like wow moment, especially with how it's handled and everything. that and it really adds to a lot of the whole blood versus water aspect as well. So yeah, impressive stuff. Impressive. Ding, ding, ding. And then, of course, them actually bringing back the Purple Raw tiebreaker, the infamous one from season 4. I remember this being like super hyped up, honestly. I remember people eyeing up so much, and they tell me, and on you watch it, I remember they're basically, like, Hayden and Kate are actually able to convince Sierra to actually fell with them, whereas Sierra was actually on the bottom, and it led to a lot of crazy back and forth, and that's trying to get Tyson, and it ended with Katie ended up getting the boot for John the Rock. Which again, it's an incredible TV moments and so many crazy chaotic mixes back and forth and so many fun character moments, even some fun confessionals as well. Like, just can't help it. That's an all-time great moment in my opinion. And again, something even more crazy than the Purple one we got in season 4, which is when during the time reading the time season 10. Like, it's crazy moments. And it's crazy that they bought like 23 seasons later, and it's still as shocking as it was back to season 4. Man, you get the season that's so many very good moments, so many fun blind sides, just a perfect sort of package too. There even despite the fact that you still got that big blemish with the whole Colton aspect. Even then, I don't think that's enough to really like bring down the season, honestly. It's just only like 2 or 3 episodes, and it's still kind of hilarious with how they handle him with Jeff being actually the angriest he's ever been on Survivor. So yeah, but it's one for me. Gets a 10 out of 10. A great, fantastic season that I'm happy on the rewatch. It does hold up very, very well. Oh, I'm definitely. This is honestly, of all the seasons on this list, this is the one I was definitely excited to rewatch the most, honestly. Because this is one of those seasons that I was never the biggest fan upon watching it for the first time. I don't know why, honestly, but I feel like season I definitely have grown to really appreciate a lot more the more I think about it. And honestly, it honestly might be my favorite season of the show, period. And that's Survivor Kagian. Brains versus Brawn versus Beauty. And another season that basically ended up having like 3 tribes, which, again, it's weird to while 3 tribes are now like the thing to know about Survivor nowadays. Like, it's weird when they actually end up doing it like very like moderately now. Like, oh, yeah. Like another season basically got the brains, the brawn, and the beauty. Brains versus brawn versus beauty for a reason, and yeah, like I said before, Kagam is probably my favorite season of the show. I think when I did a ranking video where I ranked every season of Survivor, Big Brother, and Hell's Kitchen, I believe this season was actually number 1 on that list, honestly, so it should come as no surprise, but and again, finally, like I mentioned before, I really don't like, I don't think I hate this. Yeah, I think I still thought it was a good season, but I was never like truly high on this season. I was never like, oh my god, this is an incredible season like what else, honestly, too. I didn't realize that was probably the exception this season because I don't think I ever looked at what the assumption and everything on Survivor until obviously I got to do YouTube. But checking on this scene that I thought it was good at the time, but I never really like was in love with it when it was airing, which is kind of, and honestly, I don't know why. Honestly, I generally do not know why. Honestly, I genuinely do not know why. Don't know why. I don't know if there was any reason. I don't know if it was a weird time in my life. I mean, it was 2014. I mean, it was 2014. That was definitely a weird time in my life. But yeah, I think like this season definitely, I've grown to so much more appreciate the more I think about it. And now this first time actually rewatching the season, I can even say this might be is my favorite part I've seen. This season signifies everything I love so much about Survivor. About the characters being human, about the characters, the gameplay, the crazy back and forth. And of course, it gave birth to probably the biggest character that we have ever seen in Survivor, which I do have my stuff to say about him, but we'll get there. Yeah, but let's start off with the brain strike, which is, of course, trying to handle being a disaster. The premiere itself is just fantastic, which was insane. Looking at David Sampson, who I don't know what. Looking at David. He was the president of the My Name Alon's Major League Baseball, and he definitely made himself known to be a reboot in the first episode where he was in the captain, saying get back to the strap, and was taking endgame already, which is like, really, really. And of course, all his confidence kind of led to his downfall, him being blindsided in the first episode. Which of course, in the third episode, will be to see Garrett end up finding an idol. My idol, and thinking he was actually sick because of that, and they see Jatia basically just pour out the rice and just act rice, and like, you think that she'd probably be early boot, but somehow she ended up being safe over Garrett because of how just nonchalant he was, which is, again, still pretty hilarious. Yeah. And Jatia ended up being also an interesting character as well, who, it's crazy that she didn't make it as far as she did, despite obviously, dumping all that rice in the first premiere, which is incredible TV. Then you got Tasha, who also becomes a great character, a great foil for the merge, especially when she won 3 immunities in a row. Then you got Spencer, who is honestly one of my favorite characters in History of Survivor. He definitely had one of the biggest underdog runs where he was like on the bottom so many times during the season, yet he somehow made it to the bottom 4, which is pretty impressive. Of course, he got a more interesting, awesome run in Cambodia, but we'll get into that. Then we get to Chaos Cass. We had also a crazy, interesting run for her time on the show. Again, she was someone you never know what she was going to do or what to expect coming from Cass, and she has a kind of crazy mayhem. Had some fun back and forth between a lot of characters, especially with Trish and Tony. And he leads to some very interesting moments. Again, she's called Chaos Cass for a reason. She's called Chaos! She calls Chaos! Chaos. Chaos. Then we get to, and that's the main tribe, then we get to the Beauty Tribe, which, all of them are still great. Probably not the least memorable of cast, but they're still great characters again. From Bryce, Alexis, Morgan, LJ, Jeffra, and Jeremiah, who I think are finding out Charlotte does the least farthest in the game. Yeah, but all of them are great characters again. Morgan definitely had some fun character moments. LJ was good. Jeremiah was hilarious at times. Jeffra surprisingly has some good moments as well. Bryce was hilarious during his short time, and I know he's like a very popular mainstay in the Survivor community. And Alexis also had a pretty fun emotional run, to which of course led to her being blindsided and having probably one of the most poignant emotional reactions at a one gig thrown out. And then of course we get to the Braun Tribe, which is probably the more memorable tribe on this season. Like you got Cliff Robinson, may he rest in peace, he did pass away. And he's definitely one of the better athletes to be on the show, honestly, at least in terms of gameplay, but that's kind of wanted to be a target, which to a fun blindside. And again, one of the weirdest quit in the show's history in Lindsay, who definitely has fun moments, but has the blindside. She basically, the reason she decided to quit was because she didn't want to punch Trish lights out, because she was so furious about Trish, about obviously, being Trish and then blowing on Cliff. Again, she was so afraid she was so afraid she didn't want her kid to end up seeing her punching Trish lights out, which is just very good reason, and makes some interesting moments. And then of course we get to the famous Sarah Lacina, who of course ends up winning game changers in the he probably was one of the biggest drama council, probably the biggest drama council in our history, which we'll get into. And of course, she ended up winning Game Changers, and then she was kind of wins the war. And while Sarah has never been like the most engaged personality in the world, she still has some fun moments, and she still has some great gameplay moments too. I still do enjoy Sarah as a whole. Trish, of course, is a pretty underrated character. Like, it's shocking we never saw Trish play Sarah again. Cause I like to see how she would do on the modern season. Or at least nowadays, honestly. Especially with season that doesn't have Tony. Again, many great character moments. Again, great foil with Tony. Great friendship she has with Tony. Has one of the most best Sherry speeches out there. I love Trish. Then we get to Will, who was one of the most fun characters on the board. Again, someone who plays with honor and integrity, which kind of led to his downfall. He brought our cast with Tony, but we'll get into that. But Will was also a fun character, also has some fun back and forth in character moments throughout. And then we get to the man, the myth, the legend himself, and I have some stuff to say about him. That is Tony Vlachos. Because again, I mentioned that Kakiana wasn't like a season I didn't really enjoy when it was airing. Honestly, like, I thought it was good, but I didn't really thought it was great. One of the reasons I reached out that was because of Tony. I don't know if it's because I was on a Russell hate train at the time, honestly, but I kind of compared him too much to Russell. Because it felt like he was playing the same game as him. I was like, oh, playing this type of game, game in the Spy Shack. Because, like, he's definitely going to lose, obviously. He's kind of playing the same game, and now you won. I was like, wait, what? But he played the same game as Russell. Like, why didn't he win over Russell? When he played the same, like, I'm confused. What? Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking at the time, honestly, but obviously as time goes on, I've definitely grown a more appreciation for Tony to what he's definitely in the favorite roster of my favorite Survivor player of all time. I am dead serious. So, though I'm pretty sure he plays for a lot of people, and honestly for good reason, because he is either one if not the biggest Survivor character of all time. I think he's probably one of the first true over-the-top winners of Survivor, so who plays the game in a more over-the-top way, and is a crazy character in an over-the-top way. They can't help but just enjoy it, honestly, especially with the whole spy shack he does, with the whole spying that he ends up doing throughout the season, which makes for some pretty hilarious moments. It's like kind of moments, full character moments, a lot of the cast, like with Sarah, with Cops of Russ, and Russ, his friendship with Trish. Of course, him going that whole llama talk thing with Cass, which is still pretty hilarious. And kind of like the back with Wu and Spencer and a lot of the other cast members throughout the season. Like, Tony's a crazy over-the-top character. You just can't help but love when he was on screen. And no one of those characters that probably won't be for everybody. Like, I feel like I always said a lot of great characters, but some characters aren't just not for everybody. It's just everyone's taste. But Tony is definitely a top-tier character. He's probably my favorite character of all time. And you think about that, but he pretty much isn't. Like, in terms of character, he is definitely up there as a top-tier character. He has many hilarious moments. Like, he pretty much makes this season so great. And I'm pretty sure any season Tony's in, he's definitely going to be the star. Like, he was only on the premiere episode in Game Changers. He pretty much made that premiere so good, and what's still the most memorable thing about that season, which should really tell you something about that season, but we'll get into that on Game Changers. Then, of course, the end of the Wins the War. And I definitely have a lot to say about that there, so I'll say that when we get to Wins the War. But again, Tony is just the star of the season. Yeah, that season is just filled with so many iconic moments. Like the final 11 Trump Council is probably my favorite Trump Council in the show's history. Like, if you ask me what is my favorite Trump Council in the entirety of Survivor, I would say it's the final 11 Trump Council, the episode called Head of the Snake. And of course, it is probably the biggest season where the swing vote basically ends up being voted out, to where basically it was like a 5-6 majority with Sarah being in the middle, and she said that not join her own allies, but she ended up being in a dominant position and just. So with that position, she basically ends up being too cocky about it, to where it ended up upsetting Cass, and then Cass ended up being the one that flipped, and it's got Tony and LJ playing idols on each other, that end up being wasted, which is pretty hilarious, and then somebody's voted, and you get like, clap, 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 clap. Glass, and then you guys better say, Cass, throws it to win again. And doesn't slow down, like, you still get many, like, crazy character moments after that, and get some fun blindsides with LJ and Jeff are blindsides, and even the Morgan and Joanne episode still have the moments, even Natasha still has their moments. Trish wants a very sad woman. Trish getting voted out and have her having kind of a bit of rivalry with Cass. And Cass, of course, the whole llama talk. Llama, llama, llama. Not one llama, llama. And then Cass basically giving Trish the finger when she leaves. So, and it was good, which all leads to a great finale where Cass ends up being the most impressive return to form, which she ends up being last in the challenge and somehow ends up still winning, which is impressive. And of course, you get the infamous one where basically Will ends up winning final immunity, and basically he ends up fighting. He knew he would win against Cass. Like even Cass knew that. Even Cass knew that. Yeah, you will win against me. Will still votes out Cass and brings Tony, which leads to an issue about Trump Council where he would just tear into Tony, but get Joey's speech with Spencer basically saying you should all vote for Tony. Then Trish basically tearing Tony a new one, which is I think it's definitely an easy top high Joey speech and leads to Tony winning. Do I definitely hate it at the time? I'm like, yes, Tony. Yeah, this season has so many great character moments, so many hilarious moments. A season I can put on any time and still enjoy. I feel like if I, it's definitely one of the few seasons and it's definitely as far as season I would say I would recommend anyone to watch. Like definitely a season I would if you were looking for my first time I would recommend watching Kagiana. It's never seen that bonding great aspects on Survivor. And season that overall just has so many great character moments, so many great crowd councils and great back and forth. And season that just puts a big grin on my face throughout to where again like I said it is part of my favorite season. It's an easy 10 out of 10 obviously. I absolutely adore Kagiana. It's hard to point anyone because Kagiana to be the favorite season and what? I think for the longest time I never thought I was my favorite season. I think Hero vs. Villains probably was, if I remember correctly. But Kagiana is definitely now part of my favorite season. And now we get to the second Blood vs. Water season, that is San Juan del Sur, which is definitely an interesting season for Survivor. It's definitely one of the seasons that definitely got a big negative reception when it was airing. But when time went on, people going back to the season were like, oh, this season actually pretty good. Like, I would probably compare this season to Vanuatu, honestly, and also Survivor UK Season 3. Seasons that now had the best pre-merge, just that I think pre-merge is actually a bit worse than Vanuatu. When the merge really kicks in, it's honestly one of the best stretches of gameplay on the best stretch episodes in Survivor history. Of course, season 5 is a little bit different than the Plus One, because obviously there's new players. It was actually originally going to have 20 castaways, like the first build of next season multi-part cell was actually going to be, I believe, from a farm member correctly. Or a sister, I believe, but often they didn't happen. So they ended up dropping out, then because of the timing, they weren't able to get that. So, which about the first season that had the biggest gender imbalance since Fire Fiji. And this season was also apparently going to have, which is honestly, and to be honest, I'm kind of glad it's not too honestly. And it's probably the last time we saw Exile Island. And of course, but of course, they still had the duels honestly that happened. We had before the Swamp Thing actually had the loved ones and the face against the actual loved ones, which led to definitely a lot of interesting stuff that happens honestly. And it could lead to some very emotional moments though. They were after the swap, which didn't make much sense, so they still kept Exile Island. But overall, again, some of this was definitely an interesting season too. Again, the pre-merge this season is often not that great, honestly. Like, you think you get a pretty good cast, and I'll say some of these plays actually do like a lot more on the rewatch, actually. And some plays I thought would be just kind of just boring and blah. I actually end up really enjoying so much more, actually, not gonna lie. Always found me a lot more funny, a lot more character, at least in the merge. Again, the pre-merge is not much interesting. Like, you do get an overall pretty solid cast, honestly, though some of the pre-merge are not the most interesting. Like, interesting that in this season we had the first appearance of Kelly Wentworth, to all. Now she's obviously a Survivor legend. She was just kind of there in this season, only being caught by True Christie, who I'll definitely get into. And she ended up getting just thrown out. She's a nothing character. Yet somehow got a return second chance. And while of course she's obviously now a survival legend, she was kind of nothing figure on this season. Aside from the thing with the Drew Christie vote out, which I'll get into. Then you also got Natalie and Nadia coming on this season. I'll definitely get into those because they will know be on the Amazing Race together. You got the Prince Colin Jimmy Collins, who's also known as survival legend, competing with his wife Val. You got the legend of Keith Neal, making rest in peace, competing against the Sun West. You got Baylor, who's actually not a bit country singer nowadays, and Misty, Jacqueline John, Alec Drew, Reed and Josh, and Kelly and Dale, and of course, John Rocker, who I believe was actually a pretty controversial, I believe he's like a baseball player, if I remember correctly. I believe he was like a very controversial figure, if I remember correctly. Began competing against his girlfriend Julie at the time. I don't remember if they're still together or not, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, they're pretty much not the greatest, honestly. Well, you can do get like a fun now, you can find out, honestly, get Val kind of overplaying herself, and I don't think that Val's the most interesting character, and John Rock is just not the most fun character to watch, especially we could kind of find with Natalie, honestly, which is if it's for all the wrong reasons. The Duke Christie episode, though, is fantastic. It is an incredible episode. It's one of the best like downfall episodes of a player ever, where he pretty much just overplayed himself and tried to do too much at once, and tried to just do so much at once, and just kind of just burn himself, and it leads to some very hilarious moments. The other two episodes after that were just kind of just blah. Like even the first merge episode not the greatest, mostly because it also led to a quit with Julie. And it's one of the only times that Jeff actually started to actually be sympathetic towards quitters. But I think everything from episode 8 onwards is incredible. Like, I think Zero Dawn Sword has one of the best merges in Survivor history. I do think it has a pretty solid cast in general. Again, Nadia definitely had a fun episode. Again, Drew Christie, fun downfall. Val, John Rocker. Val's not the most interesting character, but John Rocker, yeah. Dale's fine, but Kelly Wentworth can. By the fact that Kelly Wentworth, again, is now a survivor legend. Is that what's kind of nothing failed on this season, which was interesting to remember. And Julie was also fine, honestly. And Josh was a great character, and he, along with Jeremy, definitely had really great edits, which leads to the downfalls being more surprising. Once I actually enjoyed a little more this time around, actually, because he had a little funny one-liners in the merge, actually, that actually made me like him a little bit more. Same with Alec as well. Reed was a good foil, had a little fun thing with Missy. John had a really epic downfall where he was actually a heroic figure, but ended up becoming a villain. Baylor actually had a moment. He is a fantastic character. Stick to the plan! Misty was great. Jacqueline I actually still enjoyed, and then got the winner, Natalie Anderson, who was again, she and her sister Natalie for enough competing on the Amazing Race. And we all can agree that Natalie has probably one of the best stretches of gameplay in Survivor history. So pretty much, it's funny, Natalie never really like stood out much. Well, I'll say she didn't have her moments in the merge, in the pre-jury and the merge. It wasn't until the Jimmy blindside to where she really started again. Like I said, everything from the final onward, basically, it was kind of like a back and forth battle between Josh and Jeremy. Jeremy is the other one that got the most consistent edits up to this point. Then Josh ended up being just this boom. The first member of the jury to think, Jimmy's the truant. And then he ends up getting blindsided. You're like, eh? Most players to have the most consistent edits up to this point, since he's like the winner edit material. And again, I do love Josh, and also I do love Jeremy, honestly. I was going to be interested to see what this battle was going to be like. And the fact they ended up getting voted back to back was pretty shocking. And of course, this led to Natalie basically trying to sneak her revenge onto John for obviously being the one, but of course she did very sneakily. Of course, got the epic like final night episode. This is where he built trust, but basically there was like so much back and forth, honestly, and they were trying to bust on John, and the plan actually was going through, but then Reed decided to make it too much and everything, and then which confused Keith, and then he's like, I say we stick to the plan, which is one of the most hilarious moments in the show's history. Which out to now to convince John to play his idol, then Keith plays his idol, and then his son West ended up getting voted out. That was a crazy Trump council. crazy. And then we're also going to get to a fun Reva next episode, and the last time we saw that, and this was the last time we saw this Touch Acceptance challenge, honestly, to where they kind of like broke that challenge, which, you know, Jeff seemed very pissed off about that, so, yeah. But you like a fun Reva, again, John being kind of an asshole. It's on his work, and then you basically have John winning the next episode, and now you play an impressive move to basically she ended up voting on Alec because she really needed Keith. And then she was like, wait, the player wasn't the vote on Alec? I thought it was Keith. Wait, the player wasn't the vote on Keith? I thought we were voting for Alec. And she did that pretty impressively, honestly. Like, truly impressive work. Genuinely impressive. And it leads to, because John being John and everything, it leads to a epic John blindside where Natalie basically got what she wanted. And has what is, by the way, the biggest revenge, the best revenge arc in the show's history, the best use of using revenge as a storyline. And they use that pretty incredibly here. And you still get a pretty great finale in general. We still get Natalie being Natalie, we're getting her Keith winning immunity, and then basically she actually finally played her idol, actually used it on Jacqueline, you know, John's girlfriend, I believe they're still together, if I remember correctly. Again, correct me if I'm wrong here. But she actually used it on Jacqueline, and you think, oh, it's gonna be Misty, also because of her like broken leg last episode. But no, and to be Baylor, I'm gonna be like shocked by that, like, oh wow. And then you get like a fun Keith vote out, the fun Tribal Council, you get one of the most fun jury speeches to read, and then Natalie winning by 5-1 votes. Again, amazing rounds of gameplay. Again, the merge is just amazing episode after amazing episode, shocking moment after shocking moment, blindside after blindside. Like, you get so many standout, incredible moments in this merge episode. So almost I remember being like so shocked, like, holy shit, wow. Those get some fun challenge moments, some really fun character moments as well. And also one instance where actually 3 people actually started to give up their win to other people. Also getting some great storylines with the whole Natalie thing, being with Jacqueline, and her relationship with John, her not being able to Steve. I believe that she's able to remember correctly if I can correct me wrong on that. And you guys just really great characters, and characters that didn't end up standing out in the pre-merge, and I'm actually standing out a lot more in the merge, like Wes and Alec, especially Reed. And even Jacqueline standing out a lot more actually, and especially like Misty a lot more this time around. And I think my appreciation for Natalie has definitely gone up a bit on this rewatch. I've always loved Natalie, but after seeing how much she went through this season and everything, it makes her think Hawaii Game very high again. Hawaii's War Game's another story, which we'll have to get into, but this Natalie is an incredible player. Just one of the biggest stretches of great move after great move out of anyone in Survivor history. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about Sailor Death Store, honestly. That's pretty much all I gotta say about the season. Project has a bit of a worse pre-merge than Van wants to, and the reason I'm saying that because they're kind of similar with their seasons that don't really have the greatest pre-merge, but more like there's a half-a similar pre-merges in terms of not having the most interesting cast players that get voted out, except for a few exceptions, and not much interesting rounds of gameplay, kind of feel a little bit stagnant at points. But it's really when the merge is when season really kicks in, honestly. And also, despite that, I would say this season actually a little bit better, honestly, to where I think obviously has more like incredible moments. I think I definitely got a bit up on this season, honestly, to why I won't call it a top tier season. Has some of the best rounds and best moments of gameplay out of any Survivor season. That's why I'm giving Sailor Death for a 9.25 out of 10. And now we get to the 30th season of Survivor. Survivor Worlds Apart, white collar versus blue collar versus no collar. I just remember Jeff Probst actually hyping the hell up at this season. Like hyping things like being the 30th season. Like, this is one of the best seasons of the show. This is an incredible cast, amazing season, and one of the best winners of all time. Like, I really remember being in the hype of this season. The cast seemed pretty promising again. Seemed like a very interesting cast. Got another season that has 3 tribes, which is the norm. It's interesting to actually see 3 tribes. And the casting like, was going to be a really big one with some really characters and in the end, like, I remember the hype of this season, and honestly, even when I was watching the others airing, I was pretty let down by the season, honestly. I was always so frustrated and confused and like, ah! But, and unfortunately, after we watch, that pretty much has stayed the same. In fact, I think my opinion actually dropped a little more on a rewatch. That's why I don't think this is like a true bottom tier season, like not like Thailand or the Dark Era bottom tier. Like it's probably around, like it's probably above that era, honestly. Like it's not like a terrible season, but I do think trying to have some praiseworthy elements of the season, like and everything. Like unfortunately, this season just ends up becoming kind of a slog. I think a lot of the characters just become pretty annoying, pretty frustrating. I mean, you do get a lot of the sexist stuff that happens in this season that, again, I'm not really particularly fan of. So, yeah. So, there's definitely a lot of positives to say about this season. Unfortunately, the season that overall, I just didn't really enjoy on the rewatch. And of course, there are some personal stuff happening in the season that does make me like not in the finish season. So, yeah. And obviously, I don't like this season. Obviously, not like a bomb season, but one like it does have a pretty solid premiere. I'll give it that. We do get some very interesting dynamics as well. You do get some good stand-up moments, like of course following the one to Mike, but again, they'll definitely have some solid play. Again, Finn's had a pretty fun downfall in this 2-episode run. Yeah, well, not being an interesting character, I kind of felt bad for most of the time on this season. There's also waiting for to see Joe, who basically ends up returning next season, and also returning in Edge of Extinction. And he was fine. Like, I think Joe's one of those players that you have to be watching this season. I think he's just a fine player and a fine character. Where you he can't have his standout moments. He's just not the most interesting character and player, and that's what I can always say about Joe and pretty much all his stats on the show. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks that either. I'm from he's actually married to Sierra this season. And then they have a kid together, which is interesting, and Sierra also to find the most interesting character. In fact, a lot of times I'm just frustrated by her gameplay. And then Jen, who was, I think, is a fantastic character. Again, kind of shocking me now to see her make a return, honestly, but she was just a fun character, amazing presence, just had so many great one-liners, so many great laugh-out-loud moments. It just, honestly, I actually liked it a lot more on this rewatch, actually. And I also think it was Shireen to watch the man come across the man annoying. Pretty much, I think the murders were just started to come into her own. I think especially at the whole, she has a will, which I don't get into. I also like Rodney, I probably enjoyed a bit more as we watched, though I still don't like him. Carolyn, I also really enjoyed on this rewatch. And then we got the winner himself, Mike Howard, who again, Jeff Probst really hypes one of the best winners of just history, and in some ways he's not wrong on that, honestly, too. Has probably one of the biggest underdog runs in the show, but he was definitely in a great spot for the first half of the game. And then there's isn't having the auction, which is also the last time we actually saw the auction. This is also the last time we see the auction till obviously it's 5.5. Basically, long story short, there ended up being an incident where Mike ended up backing out of a deal they made with the other players, which he didn't end up like going back on, but that kind of made him pretty much a social pariah up to that point, where he basically ended up win out. Basically, he won the next 5 media challenges, and then what he didn't win, he basically had out for it. So yeah, Mike definitely had a definition of underdog run, and makes the win actually pretty satisfying, actually. So while my best gameplay in the world, Mike's also still a pretty likable player, to where you actually are, like, he's probably one of the only likable players on this cast, honestly, because, yeah, most of these casts is pretty unlikable, honestly. Or either unlikable, or just kind of forgettable, honestly. Like, again, So had a weird, So was a first week that they keep trying to bring back, honestly, after this season, and she just kind of fine. Lindsay was there, Max was there, Joaquin was there, Kelly was just, I mean, she was impressive gameplay, but, I mean, ridiculous, but not much to say about her on her relationship with Mike. And Haley was kind of fine. And I kind of liked a bit less action in this rewatch. Well, again, Tyler was just down there. Dan, while some people may actually like him as a character, I just can't. I'm sorry, I just can't like Dan on this season. I really don't like Dan. Same with Rodney, same with Sierra. and Will was someone that I actually really liked in the pre-merge. But I think after the whole thing he did to Shireen in the final 9, I think when his edit pretty much just dropped. And when his likability really started to hit, basically, there was also an incident actually where basically they thought Will was smoking food when he actually got food, had to cheer it. Then he basically just blew up at Shireen for no reason, saying like, basically like, no one likes you. I bet no one's how miss you right now. Like he was pretty much personally attacking Shireen. Like, Jesus. Like, that's still one of the worst moments of our history. That alone kind of raised the season down, honestly. And also overall, I don't really have much else to say about the season, honestly. Like, again, most of the cast is pretty forgettable and likable. You know, Mike is a great winner. Dale definitely was a fun character moment here and there. Again, Jen's a fun character. Vince was a great, really pretty much boots. There was a lot of funny, likable moments in this season, but again, Mike's underdog run is also pretty impressive. But as a whole, Winter was just not that great of a season. I did a bit of everything I wanted to give it, honestly, so in the end, I'm just going to give it a 3.5 out of 10.